Welcome back to Behind the Box, and welcome to our final video for this year's Airecon.
Sunday!
We'll just jump straight in. The first thing we did when we got there on Sunday, because we wanted this to be a bit of a day where we'd go around and actually look at some people's games and play them. So we started off by playing a game called Forks, which we had met the designer the night before, playing Avalon with him. And Forks was a really interesting game. It was a lot more than I was expecting it to be, I think. So it's basically a bunch of different businesses that you are trying to steal money from as an investor, but then also invest some money into it. And at the end of the game, the top three most invested into companies will essentially pay out positive points for the money you embezzled. The bottom two, you'll actually then lose points. And so the idea is to get the most points. It's kind of like a draft. So you'll draw 3 cards, pick one that you're going to keep, and you pass the 2 to the player to your left. They get to keep one, and then they have to place the other one into an investment. The reason it's called Forks is because it's meant to be a tough decision.
Yeah.
Right? So you're supposed to give them bad things. That happened a lot. You kept giving me bad stuff throughout the whole time we were playing it, and then you ended up winning.
Yeah.
So good job for you. I mean, that made you the most shady out of all of us. So
Baby.
That could be why. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. Like I said, there was more to it than I was expecting, and he's made a bunch of other things. It's not just that. There's a bunch of like roles you can take on, so you get like a one-time power or something that's like a permanent power throughout the game. A micro campaign that's sort of it's not a legacy or a campaign like a fully fleshed out thing, but it's just slight tweaks. So like certain things will just be altered, like a rule that changes,
little rule changes or event type things,
and just like a little bit of writing about like the narrative of why. You know, it was just nice. It was just a nice thing. It comes in a really small little, sort of like a deck of cards size box, right? So
it was neat.
It was good.
Then after Forks, we went over and visited Tom from Redwell Games, and we checked out Six Gun Showdown.
Yep.
And that was I got a kick out of that. That was pretty fun. It's like a dueling game, like a cowboy shootout sort of thing, where you can select cards and lay them, face down in front of you. And so it's a little bit of a memory game because you have to remember where you placed certain cards. You've got some cards that are the shooting card, and then some cards that are gonna make you faster or make you more accurate or somehow affect negatively your opponent. And so you'll have these in front of you, and then you'll be flipping them up. And when someone flips up a gun, you have to try and reach for a card. The opponent has to reach for the card, and before the other person can touch
one of theirs. Yeah. So because I was much more aggressive than you with the guns, so I would reveal a gun. And then at that point, it becomes a speed game. I have to touch one of Lindsay's cards on the other side of the table before she can touch her gun, which basically is signifying she's drawing after I've drawn. If I can touch hers, then I get to make a roll to try and shoot her, and if I do, I get a point. But I might miss because it's a dice roll. Like you said, you can modify it, make yourself a bit more accurate by focusing and things like that. But if you miss, the other person can take as long as they want then.
Yeah.
And if they then want to shoot you, they're allowed to legally, I guess this was an old rule in dueling, it's now a legal shot. They're defending themselves, right? And you then get 2 points. And I loved that idea. I think that was a really good way of balancing it, because there is every now and then going to be a pairing where one person is just going to always be faster on the draw and on the touching of cards, which is what was happening with us. I am faster than you at those sorts of things, especially when I have the knowledge that I'm going to reveal a gun, right? So I know, reveal instantly, tap out. But then if I miss, you get more points. So it's like a nice balancing thing of, I might be faster than you, but might miss. And then you'll get your shot to take a shot on me. I thought it was just a nice game. Thank you to Tom. He gave us a copy of his prototype, which comes with a bunch of different characters.
Yeah.
They have their own... All the cards are, I believe, the same. So you get the same spread of cards, like the same amount of shooting cards and focusing, things like that. But the way they modify is different. It's supposed to symbolize different aspects of that character. So it was cool. It really fun. I want to play with my friends, and I think this is the sort of thing that you could build upon. And we spoke to Tom a little bit.
Yeah, he's got some ideas for how he can develop this further. Smart guy.
Very smart guy, yeah. Comes up with some cool stuff. So, The next thing we did was go and check out the Oink Games booth. We really like Oink Games. We've got Deep Sea Adventure. We played Insider. We wanted to try something from them. We didn't really care what. We just thought, let's just give it a shot. So we went over. One of the demos there showed us Startups, which is, in a way, thematically similar to Forks.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
You're basically investing in different companies and buying stocks. But you got to do it in kind of a smart way, because as soon as you have more stocks in a company than anyone else, you have a monopoly, and you're not allowed to intentionally buy any more from the market. You can get them blindly from drawing from the top of the deck if you get lucky, and then you can still play them. But otherwise, you can't take more, and then someone else might overtake you at the end.
Yeah.
It was a cool little game. It was very quick. It was really simple and straightforward to teach, and then to just get going and start playing. Mm-hmm. I liked it. What did you think?
I liked it too. I liked it. Yeah.
That was cool.
Oink Games does some good stuff.
Yeah, they do.
Right, and then after that, we went and played Res Arcana?
Res Arcana.
Res Arcana. So we had kind of a date with Rodney at 1 o'clock, I think, is when we were supposed to be over there. And he taught us how to play the game. And it was great because, again, we got to play on a really super awesome table. Mm-hmm. But also it was just fun to be taught by the master in a sense. And it was really helpful the way he taught us too, because he got out the player guide, the little player guide that tells you what you can do on each round. Yeah. And that's kind of how he taught it. So it was a neat structure, and you could refer, he kept it on the table so you could refer back to it as you're playing if you kind of forgot, what else can I do on my turn? So essentially it's a game about getting victory points, which a lot of games are. Yeah. But this one was themed around kind of arcane type
artifacts and magical locations and creatures and things like that.
Yeah, Tree of Life, Chalice of Life, dragons and mermaids and things like that. Basically, you are playing cards and taking actions that will get you more elements and things, and then that's you can use that kind of as a currency for buying things that will give you victory points in the end.
It's like an engine builder game. Yeah. I enjoyed it. I thought it was nice. The gameplay was pretty clean. I felt like it wasn't, even though there's a lot of stuff to take note of, you kind of have control over all of it. You don't have to activate everything. You can choose when to activate things. There's no set. It was just nice. You just can kind of do stuff as and when you need to. It was just an enjoyable game, and I had fun playing it.
Yeah.
The next one, I think you should actually talk about again, double up on the explanations, because this was such a great game, and I know you absolutely loved it.
Yeah. Now, earlier in the weekend, when we were having a word with Eka, he was talking about this Japanese game, My Favorite Things.
I like EYE.
Yeah, I My Favorite Things. And he was just talking about it, and I fell in love with it just after hearing about it. And so it was so great on Sunday when we finally got to play it with him and Ross and Matthew again. And it has the first player marker of this little mailbox. It's really cute. I don't know why, but it's just really cute. And basically what you do is everybody around gets to choose a little category that they're going to give to the person on their left or right or whatever. And so it's a way of getting to know people. So for instance, you could write down favorite childhood memories or favorite meat
like I did, which I'll explain why I was a bad choice later.
Or favorite holidays, or best things to do with water or whatever. So you write that down and then you give it to the person on your left, and obviously you're going to do that and you'll be receiving one yourself. And then you have these cards, and what you have to do is you have to write down your top 5 things in that category. So, for example, favorite childhood memories, you would write down, this is my favorite one, this is my second favorite, third, fourth, fifth. And then you write down a childhood memory that's not your favorite. That'll be your 0.
Like a worst. Like
the worst thing to happen. Yeah, opposite of that. But you don't want to be too obvious with it, because this is going to eventually become a trick-taking game. And so you want this childhood memory to sort of fit in with the others and be kind of with that. So you have to be a little bit strategic with that. So you put a childhood memory down that's the worst, but kind of looks like it could fit in with the others. And then you rank those secretly. You put cards in with the rankings in there that the other people can't see. And then you return them. And now we're going to play a trick-taking game. So you have this hand of cards that's, you know, someone's favorite childhood memories or favorite holidays or whatever. And you got to look at them and think, what value do you think that is? And you, like, try and take the trick.
Yeah, because 1 is the best through to 5. 0 is kind of the trump card, though. If somebody else plays a 1, 0 then will actually win.
Yeah.
And you just go, whoever does that basically first, after you reveal the numbers, left of the person that's got the first player marker. Mm-hmm. So if 2 people have played 0s and 1 person played a 1, the first 0 from the first player marker will be the winner. Yeah.
It was great. It's a great way to get to know people.
It was awesome. We loved it. And the reason I said meat was a bad choice is because I gave Ross favorite meats. And I just got 6 cards back that were just chicken, pork, steak, tuna, squid, lamb. And I was like, well, I don't know. It was just random. And so everyone's like, favorite childhood memory and like putting out really like deep, meaningful things and favorite academic tropes. And I'm just like, chicken. That's my guess. I had no idea. There was no way I could have known what his favorite meats were and which ones he would hate. So for the next round, I did a much better job. Actually, was able to get some details and actually started. You do figure it out. Like I know because I had after you do the second round, after the first round into the second round, you then go right around the circle. And so I then gave Matthew a question of favorite holidays. And by the last 3 cards, I was like, I'm pretty sure I know which one's the 1, which one's the 2, and which one's the 0.
Yeah.
And I was able to, I think I won one of those tricks or 2 of the tricks then because I had the position to be able to be like, I think this is right. So it is interesting. You kind of start to get a sense based on the previous cards and what numbers they were. You know, it's just cool. And it is a great way to get to know each other.
Yeah, it is. It is.
The last thing we did while we were there, straight after we played I Am My Favorite Things, Rodney he was done with his booth and he came over and joined us for a game of Decrypto. Now we own Decrypto. We have played it once, loved it, and then just haven't really ever had the group to play it with again. And so we were so excited to play it, and it was so good. My team lost in 2 rounds. It was shocking.
It was a quick defeat.
So at the start of the game, before we even got going, I turned to Ross, because it was me, Ross, and Matthew, and I was like, pretty sure we're going to disappoint Matthew, because he's really smart. His clues were really good, and we were not smart enough for them. And it was at the end of a 3-day convention, and yeah, so we lost, but we had a great time.
It was still really good, yeah. It was still a great game, great people. Great way to end the whole thing.
It was a really nice way to end it. And then we went and got a train. We all were actually getting the same train to Leeds, and then we all split up there. So we still got a bit more time just chatting with them, and it was great. The whole weekend was just incredible. It was everything that we wanted and so much more. I mean, we got to play games with some great people. We got to see people that we only get to see at these small events, and it was funny. On the last day, I was seeing people as they were clearly like had some people off of a table had to leave, and everyone was getting up and hugging them, and I was like, they're friends for like just a few days a year, and they may not have the benefits that we do. You know, we can communicate with these people online so easily through things like Twitter and Instagram, and I know that they could also add each other on Facebook, but I don't know how much they do exchange, you know, and I feel like I'm always talking to these people online and people that are watching the video, and so to go to a place and be like, oh hey, I know who you are, we've stayed in touch, you know, it's a really nice thing, and this just was more of that, you know. It's made me excited for UK Games Expo. I mean, we're already excited for it anyway, but it's made me more excited for it to see these people again, you know, and to see people that we saw last year at UK Games Expo. It's just a great experience, and that I think is the like really special thing about a convention like this. Yeah, the games are amazing, and you know the demos you get to try out, and all the fun events that they do, and the great food. We didn't even talk about the food. The food was so good, you know. I think it really is the people
Yeah.
that make it just so special to us. Really, really do. And we just got to say a big thank you, to obviously Ross and Efka and Matt. They were kind of our buddies the whole weekend, and Paul for showing us a game, and Rodney for showing us games and hanging out with us again, and Dan Hughes and Matthew Jude, we got to meet them.
Mm-hmm.
The guy called Irvin came up and said, "Hi, I love your videos, just wanted to know."
Yeah.
That was just a great thing. It's just so surprising. And obviously, a huge thank you to Mark and all the Airecon crew for hosting such an incredible event and putting so much work into it. It just blows our minds, like how much is achieved by a group of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It truly is a project of passion. People that do hobby board gaming and go to conventions and organize conventions, they're very passionate people, and it's great to be around people and just breathe it in, be around other people that have that same kind of passion. It's really nice.
Yeah, it really does mean a lot. And yeah, we love it. We cannot wait for next year's UK Games Expo and any others that we can hopefully get to this year. We're certainly going to try and do that. Yeah, we just can't wait. And I think that's it.
Yeah.
That is everything we did. If you were at Airecon, let us know what games you tried. If we didn't mention them, let us know what you thought of them. If you played some of the ones we played, again, let us know what you thought. How the food, how that was for you. I know we loved it, but we love food. So, yeah, thank you for watching. If you want to see more about any of the games that we've discussed in this whole event, I've left links in the descriptions to each video for the stuff that we've talked about, the people we've talked about, if you just want to know more. And our social media, as always. But yeah, until the next one, we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Do you want some soup?
Noodles.
Yeah.
That's not soup.
That is soup. There's a broth.
Like instant noodles. I wouldn't say that's soup. If you made like a pho, yeah, that's kind of a soup. But just like super noodles, that's not soup.